Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you all. This subject is an interesting one for me, and it's not one that I've ever really talked about very much, but I actually had a dream the other night that I was supposed to be talking about this subject. So here I am, ready to do a Facebook Live and share some details about my story with you that, again, I haven't really shared with a lot of folks. So, hey, Lisa, thanks for popping in. A little bit of backstory on me is that I used to be a figure competitor, which, if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's like a lesser degree of bodybuilding, and you wear a fancy blingy bathing suit and heels and get to look girly at it as well. But it's definitely a competition where you're trying to develop your best figure, and you're willing to get on stage and get judged for it. And so when I started competing, actually Lisa, who is on here, was the one that got me into it. So I both love and hate her for that. But when I started doing that, I was in my late 30s. And in order to do these competitions, you have to adhere to a very, very, very regimented diet, a pretty strict workout plan, and you're really trying to get your body fat to some pretty low percentages. So when I was doing my first competition, I'm 5'8", and I'll show you a picture. Actually, I've never shown this picture to very many people. So this is what I look like on stage at my first competition. So in my first competition, again, I'm 5'8", and in that picture, I weighed 117 pounds. And that is not a lot of weight for a woman that is 37 years old and 5 feet 8 inches tall. And how that journey really impacted me was when I started leaning out, doing my cut, I weighed about 135 pounds. So I dropped a significant amount of weight. And the whole way as I was going along, I kept telling myself, this isn't sustainable. You're not going to stay there. But dang, it feels pretty good, to weigh 130, 125 and on down. And you think you're telling yourself that, it's not manageable. So the reason I showed you that picture is because I want you all to know that I looked like that for about 15 minutes, honestly. It is a lot of smoke and a lot of mirrors. And a lot of manipulation of your body, of your water, of your carbs. It's micromanagement to the extreme. What I look like a week after that picture is definitely nothing like what I look like on stage. And a month later, my stage weight again, remember, was about 117 pounds. And probably a month later, I was weighing in at about 140 pounds. And let me tell you about what a freaking mind trip that is. I had gone from literally, quote, being in the best shape of my life, lie, not true, to now what was the worst. Because when I had started, remember, I was at 135 because I was putting so much valuation on that number on the scale. And I really want to talk about that number on the scale. This week I've had many, many conversations with women from across the country. And as I was reflecting on those conversations, I realized that every single woman told me exactly what she weighed. Each person knew exactly what their current weight was. And in some ways, that really says a lot. Like, as women, look how much value we place on knowing what that number is. Most of us probably don't know what a lot of our other biological numbers are, but we all seem to know what our weight is. And it's a common theme that I work with my clients, is trying to help overcome this mentality of the scale having such a huge influence on our life. Right now today, I could not tell you what I weigh. I don't weigh myself very regularly at all anymore. And that's for a lot of reasons. I could probably give you a range, but honestly, I don't care anymore, because I've seen what happens at the bottom of the scale. I've seen what happens at the top of the scale, and it has nothing to do with my happiness. You know, my happiness was not greater when I was weighing 117 pounds. In fact, that picture that I showed you, that when that picture was taken, within 2 months of that picture taken, I was going through a divorce. So that shows you that weight had nothing at all to do with making me happy. And I see just so many women, again, that are going through this, that are chasing that number on the scale in search of something that's evading them. And one of the things, you know, that I try to tell clients, I have a couple that sometimes you get very fixated on wanting to achieve a certain number. And when I'm working with clients, I don't really ask them to weigh in. But for the ones that are fixed on that, you know, they usually have a magical number that they want to get to. So I'll ask them, I'll say, okay, you know, I have a serious question for you. So when the day comes and you get to X number, because you will get there, are rainbows going to shoot out of the scale? Are you going to run outside into the street and scream that you've reached a certain number? Are you going to put the sticky number on your shirt and say, I weigh X? You know, no. The reality of it is nobody values it at all other than you. And so why are you placing so much value on this number? And I mean, I get it. I really, truly do get it, because I lived, you know, for a time of my life where I was either having a good day or a bad day based upon what that number on the scale said in the morning. And that's the kind of mental abuse that I really want to help, you know, women get over, because we are so much more than the number on the scale. And the number on the scale doesn't tell us whether we're happy. It doesn't tell us whether we're fit. It doesn't tell us whether we're healthy at all. So for whatever reason, I was compelled to share, you know, that with you today. And I hope that whoever's supposed to hear that message, that it reaches you and it touches you. And if you want to chat more about your, you know, your story, your relationship with the scale, and the day maybe you decided to chuck it out the window because the rainbow's never going to shoot out of it, right? That's the thing. Reach out to me. I'd be happy to schedule a time to chat with you. You can visit my website, which is sherryvanantwerp.com. Check out my blog. There's also a contact on there if you want to reach out to me or shoot me a message here on good old Facebook land. But I hope you are all having a great day. I want to just send much love to everyone. Thank you so much for letting me share a part of my story in a safe place here, because again, I haven't shared that very much, but I just wanted you all to know my background, where I'm coming from, and kind of some of the struggles that I've faced along the way too. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Much love. Bye-bye.